you start getting managed by Beth Ann Hardison,
Mm-hmm.
and you had photos and so forth, but she's like, okay, you need to get some actual real photos.
Yeah.
So she hooked you up with a guy named Bruce Weber.
Bruce Weber. Yeah.
Okay.
She sent me to
Bruce
see
Weber.
Bruce Weber. And at the time I had no idea who he was and his reach. And it just, it changed my whole life, man. Cause then it was his idea to send me to Ralph Lauren for castings. So I went there and, the first casting was on a Thursday and they were like, look, we're shooting suits, but you have such a great muscular build. We got this new line coming out called Polo Sport, which we think you're better for. Can you come back next week? So a week goes by. It's Thursday again. I'm in Ralph Lauren at 650 Madison, trying on stuff. And they take a Polaroid of me and they take that Polaroid upstairs. They say, we're going to go show Ralph. Me not thinking it's the Ralph Lauren they're talking about. So they go in his office and he's like, yo, this kid is great. Like, who is he? And then they were like, he's from the Bronx like you, yada, yada. His parents are immigrants and, he's this is his first, real year at trying the modeling thing. And they were telling him, the kid's trying to do the acting and all of that. So, they come downstairs and they say, oh, thank you for your time and we'll be in touch with your agent. Normally when you go to castings, you hear that all the time. And then sometimes you just don't hear. And that's just the gist of what the world is in that type of world. So I didn't think nothing of it. I maybe got like not even 30 minutes out of the building, and then my phone blew up, and it was my agent calling me to tell me that I had landed the Ralph Lauren campaign. So for me, that was like, I grew up wearing this stuff. So for me, it was like out of this world, man. That phone call changed my life, man. I went from a hundredaire to a millionaire. In a matter of like 2 years, man, because it opened so many doors. But then again, it closed the fact that I couldn't independently work for like brands like Levi's, Gap, which I had been working for. I'd done stuff with Levi's, I'd done stuff with Gap. So those jobs were cool because I was making 7 to 10 grand on those jobs. But then when Ralph came in, it was like, it was like $40,000 jobs, so it was a big difference.
Well, yeah, I mean, you became the face of Polo Sport.
Mm-hmm. And then eventually the face of Ralph Lauren altogether. Yeah, because I was doing housewares. I didn't even know the guy had paint. So it was like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about one of the most iconic fashion brands ever.
Yeah.
I mean, even growing up, like having a polo shirt was such a big deal in the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it still
for
is
sure.
To a certain degree,
I used
to
have a pink polo and I used to wear it with my collar up, all of that, bro. You wasn't living if you didn't own a polo shirt.
Right. I mean, years later, even Kanye was like, it ain't Ralph though. Talking about Ralph Lauren, like, yeah, these brands are cool, but it ain't Ralph though.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And that's the brand. And that's the respect that, Ralph was getting in the hood, And he was, the hood, it was everywhere in the world. It was like, it's still to this day one of the biggest brands.